Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Washington Gun Law TV. I'm Washington Gun Law President William Kirk. Thanks for joining us. Where are we coming from? Come on, you know the place. It is Washington's premier indoor shooting facility. It's Security Gun Club right here in Woodinville, Washington. And this will be a video predominantly for the hometown crowd. We're going to talk about the challenge to Washington's magazine ban, matter of Gators Custom Guns versus state of Washington, which is now on petition to the United States Supreme Court. Now, believe it or not, there's actually been some activity, and the reason we didn't do any video on it is we didn't think that the activity really told us much about anything. However, there's been some additional activity, and that's why we decided we should probably do this video. So today, let's spend a few minutes and let's talk about the Supreme Court wants to hear from Washington about its magazine ban. Okay, hey, before we get going too far down the road we're going down, proud to announce that this video is brought to us by our good friends where? Right here at the Silent Majority Foundation. Hey, listen, you know, this Gators Guns case is a big deal, and I got to tell you, the folks over at the Silent Majority Foundation have dedicated thousands of hours and thousands of dollars in resources. And let us also remember that there's a gentleman named Wally Wentz who stuck his neck out to be the plaintiff in this case. He is the tip of the spear, and he's basically put his entire livelihood at stake. So listen, if you want to get in the fight, if you want to help the people who are in the trenches fighting like crazy for your Second Amendment rights, then give to the Silent Majority Foundation today. And listen, we'll make it real easy, because if you go on that link right there, you can donate, and those funds will be earmarked specifically for the Gator Guns Project and all their other Second Amendment litigation. For more information, visit them at silentmajorityfoundation.org. Okay, America, and in particular Washington, the case we are talking about is a case that we have covered extensively. We were even down in the Supreme Court for all our arguments. And of course, that is Gators Custom Guns, LLC, versus state of Washington. A once successful challenge to Washington's magazine ban coming out of the Cowlitz County Superior Court. Lasted all of about 88 minutes before the Supreme Court got involved and mucked it all up. Ultimately, we lost that on a vote of 7-2 by the Supreme Court. Petition to the United States Supreme Court was filed on August 6, 2025. Now, sometimes when the other side, and the other side is the state of Washington, when they think that this petition has not a snowball's chance in hell of being accepted for a review, they will oftentimes file a motion with the Supreme Court that essentially asks, hey, I really don't want to even file a response. Are you cool with that? In fact, it looks just like this, and it is a waiver, and it specifically states, I do not intend to file a response to the petition for a writ of certiorari unless one is requested by the court. And it was signed by Andrew Hughes on behalf of the Washington State Attorney General's office. Okay, now you see this frequently, and I want you to know that that went in, but then if you take a look at the docket, you will also see that the case was scheduled for conference on September 29th. Now, here's the problem. If you filed a petition that gets set for conference right away, and the other side waives even filing a response, basically says, no, we're good, and the case still proceeds to conference without the Supreme Court asking for input from the other side, yeah, you're probably dead in the water, and you're probably dead in the water on the first conference. And this is how you end up on an orders list almost immediately, okay? So what we really needed to see was the Supreme Court say, no, actually, Washington, we'd like to hear from you. And guess what? That's exactly what happened. Because on September 4th, the United States Supreme Court did send notice back to the Washington State Attorney General's office saying, no, actually, we are requesting a response, and they would like that request filed no later than October 6th of 2025, which means that right now this matter is scheduled for conference on September 29th, and it inevitably is going to get kicked to a later conference date. There's no way it's going to get a thumbs up or a thumbs down, especially now in light of the fact that they want to at least hear from the state of Washington. However, that response will be very interesting, because as we know, there was a lot of fallacies and a lot of dangers in the reasoning that was employed by the Washington State Supreme Court. And it'll be very interesting to see if this is actually the catalyst that gets the United States Supreme Court to do something about it. Now, I'll still predict, though, that the Gators case is not in pole position. Although this is a more recently filed petition, there is the case out there of Duncan v. Bonta, the granddaddy of all magazine ban cases, filed originally in 2017, twice won at a trial court level, once won at a 3-judge panel level, and subject to 2 separate GVRs. If ever there's a case that has percolated, it is Duncan v. Bonta. But in the meantime, we're going to have to carefully watch this case, especially for all of us in Washington. But candidly, this is an issue that will affect anybody in any state subject to a high-capacity magazine ban. Okay, the case, once again, is Gators Custom Guns versus State of Washington. We're going to link up the Supreme Court docket down below so you can geek out on it for yourself. Now listen, if you got any questions about this or anything else related to what's left of our Second Amendment rights, you guys should know how to get a hold of Washington gun law by now. But if you don't, that's okay. That information is down there in the description box. If you got an idea for a video we should be doing around here, cool. You click on that link right there and you tell us all about it. If you want to subscribe to our monthly newsletter, the information on how to do that is down there in the description box. And then finally, and most importantly, let's everyone remember that part of being the lawful and responsible gun owner, like we talk about all the time here, is to know what the law is in every situation and how it applies to you in any instance that you may find yourself. Until next time, thanks for watching and stay safe.